some of the satellites we are placing in some particular orbit, some of the satellites we are placing in a different orbit. Why different satellites placing in a different orbits? Some little concept here, that's why we will discuss that point. And generally orbiting, some satellites we are going to place in a polar orbit, some satellites in a geostationary orbit. So what is the basic difference between these two orbits is, first difference is the orientation difference. Now you see the name of this one, why we are calling it as a geostationary, why we are calling it as a polar, later part we will discuss this one. First difference is the orientation of the orbit. Now if you have seen that geostationary orbit, the orientation is parallel to the equator. All we know where is the equator. This orbit is the parallel to the equator and this orbit is the perpendicular to the equator. This is the first orientation difference. The second difference is this orbit height from the surface of the earth to this height is the 36,000 kilometers. That is the fixed height. How we arrived this one is the, in intermediate everyone will learn Kepler laws. Second Kepler law explains this one. Using that only we are going to fix. This is a fixed height. If you are coming to the polar orbit, it is not a fixed height, it is a variable height. It varies from 700 to 800 kilometers. Why it is fixed, why it is a variable, later part we will discuss that one. Okay? First you have to understand the difference between these two orbits. Orientation difference and height difference. Now we will go in detail. What is the orbit means? Throughout the lifespan, whichever the path the satellite is following is nothing but a orbit. Another live example I have you. If you are going for a walking track or running track, Olympic track, that's the shape of that one in a circular shape. That one we can consider as a orbit. Our human body can consider as a satellite. Eyes, ears, nose we can consider as a sensors. That is the same concept applies here also. Which is the orbit, fixed path, and this is the satellite and sensors. Now we'll go one by one detail. The first one will go for the geostationary. Here geo means earth, stationary means earth is not at all moving. But in a real world, earth is not stationary. Earth have two types of motions. One is on its own axis. It takes, it rotates on its own axis. It takes 24 hours time. Because of that only, every day we are seeing day and nights. At the same time, earth revolves around the sun. It takes 365 days. Due to that one only, different seasons we are noticing. Okay, but if you are considering here the self motion of this one, so to take one rotation it takes 24 hours time. So why we are calling it as a geostationary? But earth is rotating. But why we are calling it as a stationary means, once we place our satellite at 36,000 kilometer height, what it is going to happen is the relative speed of earth and relative speed of satellite both appears as the same. Once both speeds appears as the same, once if I focus my sensor at my interested area over the planet, throughout the lifespan it looks only that particular location. Fixed. Real time example, you take two buses are moving parallel with the same speed. We are seeing opposite person seeing us. We feel both they are stationary. But physically buses are moving. Same concept applies here also. Okay, that's why we call it as. Normally what kind of satellites we are going to place in this orbit is weather satellites and communication satellites. The purpose of weather satellites is, why we have to place weather satellites in this geostationary orbit is, the purpose of weather satellites is to monitor. Now this is the location. Red spot is our Indian INSAT 3D satellite. 36,000 kilometer height is placed at this point. From this height, how much of area it is covering? You can. So here is the cyclone. Why we have to monitor the clouds is, so if you are seeing one cloud, our clouds are stationary or dynamic? Dynamic. So that means if you are seeing one cloud, next in which direction it is moving and where it is going to give rainfall, how much rainfall we are receiving, is it going to create a flood or not? To answer these things, continuously we have to monitor. Every 1 minute by minute we can able to get the. Our clouds are very dynamic. Similarly, if you are going USA or China, the clouds are not dynamic, it is stationary. So there is this one. Okay. Today, Indian Meteorological Department is telling, yes, I shown you that one, the slide. Today we are going to receive rainfall. Definitely everyone will give comment. Definitely we won't get any rainfall. Yes? That is a common. We are criticizing ourselves. Why at the same time we are visiting USA or China and returning back? We are praising like anything. In a USA, if 11 o'clock, if they are telling exactly 11 o'clock we are going to receive rainfall. In a China also, what is the difference between USA and India? So thing is, we are living in a very dynamic environment. They are living in a static environment. Why our environment is dynamic? Everyone, if you take today's 7th or 8th class social textbook, one point we are discussing geography, that is the tropical region. What is the tropical region means? Any region between plus 23.5 any region here plus 23.5 and minus 23.5. This region we call it as a tropical region. Why we are calling it as tropical region? Maximum sunlight falls in this between region only. In this environment, this weather is very dynamic. And also India has a special effect, monsoon system. Nowhere in the globe you won't find monsoon system. Monsoon means reversal of winds. Southwest monsoon winds comes like this and it is pushing like this and another branch goes like this. That's why everyone we study social study. Cherrapunji receives maximum rainfall. Why Cherrapunji means one branch it goes like this, another branch it goes like this. This one. All social studies we learn and during my time, your time also, social studies means least important. Only exam day only we will read the social studies. If without reading also, if you write something, we are getting the pass marks. And that's why we are criticizing ourselves. We are living in a very dynamic environment. With this dynamic environment, 80% accurately we are giving that forecast information. But in a USA and China, what it is happening is, so if you are seeing cloud, after 1 hour also cloud will be there only. They have the radar system, 360 degrees radar, it is visible. They came to know at what time it is growing and what time it is going to give rainfall, how much rainfall it is going to give. Exactly they are giving that information. But at the same time in USA also, California and all these things are there. They are in the same tropical region. There, if any cyclone comes, how we are suffering, they are also suffering. But our people are going for extra tropical regions and they are coming back. If they are telling exactly next 1 hour, perfectly we are receiving. Definitely obvious that we are in a dynamic environment. If you ask any today onwards, if anyone is praising, just you ask them, is the cloud is moving or stationary? Then they will think, I didn't notice that much of thing. Like that it comes. Next time if you visit any USA, you see these clouds are moving or stationary. Okay? So that's why the clouds continuously is moving. To monitor this one, continuously my satellite has to see this one. Now it is like this. Now you see the time at 5:30 hours. Here, sorry. Here is the time is the 5:30. Next half an hour, every half an hour you see this one. I am moving with this one. We are seeing our India is moving. No, only clouds are moving. Why means my planet is moving from west to east, east to west. My satellite also moving west to east, east to west. Continuously it is locating in a one particular location. That's why we are able to notice Earth is not at all moving, but physically it's moving. And the cloud's direction is in a different direction, that movement. That's why we are noticing that movement of the clouds. Okay? So I have the option of getting every minute by minute I can able to get the data. Normally we won't take every minute by minute. Today weather is very calm. Every 6 hours we are taking. During the monsoon time, every 3 hours we are taking. If any cyclone kind of situation is there, every half an hour we are taking. During the landfall, every 5 minutes we are taking. Why all these timings comes into the picture is satellite and sensors, communication, everything is electronic devices. To operate these electronic devices, before launching the satellites, we are keeping the battery attached with the solar panels. Daytime the battery is charging with the solar panels. Night time we are utilizing it. Charging, utilizing. After some time, the battery is losing holding capacity of the charges. If battery losing the capacity of the charges, nothing will function at all. We have to decommissioning the satellite and another satellite we have to launch. That's why optimum utilization of the power is most important. We are traveling, we are not using continuously our mobile because there is no charging facility. So optimum utilization of the power that comes into the picture. This one. Okay, clear this one? So that's why this one. Now these are the advantages. Normally weather satellites and communication satellites are placing in this one. If you are coming to the communication satellite, all this is the communication takes place through geostationary, especially in India. But best example I will give you now, this is the DTH service. Before Corona, everyone will use this DTH to watch the TVs. And now during the Corona and after the Corona, we migrated into the OTT. Now we discarded this one. But very soon we are going to establish this kind of antennas. Why again we are going to install this thing? Very soon in India we are going to receive space-based internet. So through satellites we are going to get the broadband. Elon Musk, what is his company? SpaceX. SpaceX is providing space-based internet, uninterrupted. That one. You know the power of space-based internet. The one power is Ukraine and Russia war. When it was started? 2 years back. Russia initially thought 2-3 days are enough to defeat Ukraine. So same first day they demolished all their communication system. Second day that Elon Musk all these antennas they installed everywhere. They are connected and their drones are working. Now they are fighting still. Now Russia is unable to take the decision to move forward or we have to come back. So that is the power of space-based internet. That's why last month Elon Musk gave warning to Ukraine. You have to stop the war. Otherwise I will stop that one. Once he stops, everything will collapse. So that is the power of that. Why we are going to install this one to receive this one. But now, why we are placing the DTH service? Now if we are living in an apartment or top of the building, if India so many brands of DTH services are there. If you carefully watch each brand, Airtel or Tata Sky, each brand looking direction is little bit different. Why it is a little bit different? Each brand using different satellite. Those whoever comes to our install that one technician, he knows in which direction their satellite is moving. He is focusing towards that particular direction. The planet is moving and satellite is moving, our earth is moving, continuously we are getting the signal. If you want to disturb others, you change the direction of the dish, they won't get the signals, again the technician should come, or you have to help to focus towards the particular set. That is the one, these are the advantages. What are the disadvantages? Once if I place my satellite, half of the area only I am getting it. If I need this direction and back side of that one, another satellite I have to launch here, another satellite and opposite. That means total 4 satellites I have to launch to get the complete global information. Then it's a very expenditure process. Okay, lot of money is required. To avoid that one, with one satellite I can able to see complete globe. So how it is possible? This is the geostationary things. So now to get the with one satellite, if I place my satellite in a polar orbit, with that polar orbit, I can able to get the complete global information. How I am going to get it? This one is okay. So just to come out, I will play one video. You can. So from my laptop, just I pen drive. Okay. I am using through pen drive only. Okay, okay. I will put my pen drive.